Welcome back to Shul Lights. Today we're going to be looking at the AceBeam X50 on the left here and the Manker MK38 on the right here, and they are spec'd out with the exact same emitters. These are the Cree XHP70.2 in 5000K temperature. So really what we're looking at here is who's making the better 8 times soda can light right now. And I've already done some work on the Lumen tube, and I'm just going to give you a quick rundown here of my thoughts. And what I found was that these lights are basically pretty close to identical, and that they vary just a little bit on a few key points, which I'll just run down with you. The AceBeam here tends to have a little bit higher output initially at 0 seconds. It's about 28,000 lumens out the front, where this guy was about 26,000. But folks, 2,000 lumens, when you're putting out tens of thousands of lumens, you don't notice it. You don't see it with your eye. So I'm going to give, it to AceBeam on that, but I don't know that it super matters. But almost everything else about these lights probably goes to the Manker. On paper, the Manker is a little bit taller and a little bit bigger diameter if you hold them up. But I mean, look, can you really tell a difference? I mean, you just can't in your hand too much. And they have similar features, meaning they both have tripod holes and they both have handles. I just don't have the handle on this one. But where this one pulls ahead is it's got a fandle. You can turn a fan on here and cool it down that way. And it's got electronic buttons on here, on the handle, that you can control it by. So you don't have to do this awkward thing where you hold the handle and you're tapping on the button on the other side. I also noticed that the optics are a little deeper on the Manker, and that gives it just a touch more throw, just a touch narrower beam. Here, let's take a look at that right now. So let's go to turbo on the AceBeam first. So here's turbo on the AceBeam. And so I'm aiming it at those trees, and then let's go to turbo on the Manker. And it's one of those things that it's just tough. It's tough to tell. I'll put a little side-by-side up of these two. Now, one last thing that I noticed, but this might just be tint lottery, is that the AceBeam had a more neutral set of Cree 70.2s. On my color meter, I was getting more neutral values, and on turbo, even a little bit below delta UV. Whereas on the Manker, I was getting consistently about 60 points higher. So what I'm saying is if this one was reading 0.00000 delta UV, so just dead neutral, this one was reading 0.0060. So to my eyes, this beam looks nicer. And side by side on turbo, this one looks slightly rosy, and this one kind of just seems to whiten up. But guys, I don't know that matters on a flight like this where you're flooding the whole street. So I guess at the end of the day, if you're a tint snob and you want the ultimate in performance, you'd probably give the nod to AceBeam. But for style, for the fandle, and for UI, I'm going to give it to the Manker, because the AceBeam, as you hit it and you want to go through different modes, you hold it down, it just rotates, right? So to get to the lowest, I have to go all the way through the highest to get back down to the bottom. But on the Manker, I can press it on. If I'm going up, all I have to do is let up and click again, and I go down. So basically, every time you touch it, you go the opposite direction. So again, if I want to go down, I'm going down now, and I go, oh, I went too far, I click, and now I'm going up. So it actually gives you a lot of control to kind of switch directions without having to go through the whole thing. And then lastly, I just have to say this, because it's a big deal. The Manker comes in a version where it has built-in charging, like the AceBeam does. Here's a charging port right here, and it has built-in batteries. But the Manker comes in this version that I'm holding, which has a screw-off tail cap. and you can supply your own batteries. And for a lot of people, that's a big deal. So I think that the couple areas where this light's better, maybe this one would be better for most people. But if you're a tint snob, right? If you're a tint snob, you want max performance, you want the most performance you can get in 8, emitter light, this is the one. But I think for me, I'll be keeping the Manker MK38 because they're so close. They're so close, and I do want to be able to change my batteries out. All right, guys, if you want to know more about what it looks like to change the batteries out and how the cap works and all that, take a look at my video for the MK38. I got a kind of a deep dive review where I talk a lot about the ins and outs of this light. Go ahead and click on the link above right now. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, folks. I've been making this plea in the last few videos I made. It turns out that 80% or more of the people that are viewing my videos are finding it through search. These are people that don't subscribe to the channel. So when you subscribe, it really helps because it's interaction, and then I come to the top of the search list, and then more people discover the channel. All right, guys, see you later.